And welcome back to SA Sports Show, part two of Wayne Phillips. It was just such a fantastic chat last week. I think I only asked you about 3 questions. I reckon we went for about 8 or 9 minutes.
Yeah, sorry about that. I may have took over. My sincere apologies. Well, I'll actually listen to what you've got to say this time, bud. Yes.
Please continue. Last week we were talking about playing in the Test series. I was lucky enough to play in an exhibition game for footy, Aussie rules, but we went and played at Lords.
Yes.
And it was just absolutely fantastic to be part of, walking through the changing rooms and all the history. And you touched on it a little bit last week. That must have been absolutely fantastic. You got the Oval. You got so many unbelievable stadiums there that it's all about the history of this great game.
Yes, indeed. I mean, and look, Lords in particular, I was so very fortunate. I got a scholarship in '81. We talked about the Lords, the Ashes series in '85, but I got a scholarship in '81 to go to England for 5 months, and I was on the MCC, the Young Professionals. I lived at Lords, the old Lords shop, and there's a 3-bedroom flat above, and I lived there, had a key to the gate, walk in, walk out, and it's genuine pinch yourself stuff when you start to reflect upon that sort of opportunity and what that created and provided for you.
I actually felt that way, and I nearly forgot that I had to play a footy game. There was so much history there.
Correct.
And not only like 50, 60 years of history, we're going basically back into time.
Oh, yeah. You're back into those 1800s of when the game started.
Incredible history and memorabilia as well.
Yes. And that's one of the amazing things for our guests. I mean, we've been fighting and arguing over this Ashes, and it's the urn. You actually go and look at it. It's the size of a salt shaker. I mean,
it's about
it had to be the size
of a car or a plane or something.
It is ridiculous. So it's history. Yeah, spectacular.
And so walking out must have been, I mean, we're talking about inside and grabbing all that history and then actually walking out. I know it must have been fantastic walking out on the first time we wore the baggy green, but to walking out on some of those ovals. And I'm not putting down the MCG Adelaide Oval.
No, don't. Please.
Walking out going, wow, this is
and that's the amazing thing. Yeah, and it can't. You as you mentioned, you've got that baggy green cap on, and you're representing your country, and you're walking out onto this, onto this playing field, and people, have looked up and who and what, and the situation of the game, and can you impact? And it is as good as it gets, mate. And it really is. Yeah.
Actually, reading about some of those older players of yesteryear. But you can't take anything away from the players actually playing with, because
you're doing it.
You've probably got 6 of the greatest players of all time that you're walking out with, and you're probably playing against just as
similar. Botham, Gower, Lamb, Willis, all those sorts of things. You're still with
all the greatest players of all time.
Gadding, and you are there being a part of that, playing and having and as I say, representing your country. It can't get any better than that.
You had an incredible career as well for South Australia. I mean, I have to mention it. I know you've already passed me the notes of it, but I think it was 460 run partnership with your very, very close friend David Hooks.
Yes, exactly.
Was it 299 minutes? In batting, 85 overs.
We batted for a day.
An incredible thing. Only 85 overs.
Yeah, we batted for a day, and to that part, 462.
I thought it was 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you're going to get it right, that'd be handy. But
that's in all. That's in all.
But I'm saying, Hooksy 306, myself 213, both not out, obviously, and he just hogged the strike.
That's terrible. Actually, when I think about
it. But it was just an amazing thing, and you go through that bowling lineup, and it wasn't the strongest Tasmanian side that they had, and I remember it was
because that was you played the under 15 side that particular game, was it?
No, they were. There was 3 of them that weren't in shorts. So, but you go through and
that must have been just amazing.
And just scoring, and they were noting on the PA system when with that boundary takes them past the record, and we're just going and going. It was amazing. As you say, we batted for a day, got together just before lunch on day 2, just before lunch on day 3. The wicketkeeper for Tasmania, Richard Sewell, said, "Come on, fellas, let's get a wicket before lunch." Which their captain, David Boone, said, "That's what you said yesterday, you dickhead." So it was, there was a lot of fun
for that.
Exactly, that thing you're
Was your best
talking.
mate,
And
Hooksy, was
yes,
that one of the
exactly.
reasons? So
We could.
We wanted.
Yeah.
Let's break a record together, mate. Let's break a record
No,
together.
the focus was getting to a score which would ensure that we would win the game.
Yeah.
That was what
Yeah,
we needed
okay.
to do. So, they're going to give you an opportunity.
Didn't worry
Let's
about the
keep
other
going.
batsmen in your own team, though. You didn't think.
Did we have any? Oh, I didn't know that there were any others there. They
You're
didn't
not
even
going
turn
to
up.
see them.
They didn't even turn up on day
Yeah.
3. Bugger, this for a joke. So it was just fantastic. And to have it noted up in Hooksy's bar down there at the Adelaide Oval.
Yeah.
And I go in and speak to Hooksy regularly.
Yeah.
Just to keep him up to date with what's going on.
Because I caught up with you a couple of weeks ago at the Oval, and we had a bit of a chat, and I kept on walking. There's a photo of you there, and there's a photo of you there.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Yes, it
You're
is.
humble. You're a very humble person.
Yeah, but just to be, that avenue of honour down there,
Yeah,
to be
fantastic.
acknowledged that way, and that's there now. That's part of history, and so it's pretty neat, pal. It really is.
So, great cricketer, for Australia. Well, what you've done for South Australia is you could just honestly, you could just keep going. But then you're part of the academy, and then you've coached the team as well.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and look, it was a great opportunity. Rod Marsh, of course, I was captaining his son Daniel at Sturt, and Marshy came to me and said, "Look, are you interested in a role that we're creating at the academy?" Oh, very much so. What is it? And we started bringing international kids into
that's right.
the academy for the first time. So the first one we had was Henry Alonga, the Zimbabwean. Of course, he's still now back here in Adelaide, and
Fantastic.
the voice and terrific fella. So I catch up with Henry, regularly. It's lovely, and so that was the chance, and I was there for 7, 8, 9 years under that arrangement. Then the academy became the centre of excellence and relocated up to Brisbane, and the Saka job became available, and I applied and was successful and had 4 wonderful years, great years, terrific fun, dealing with some real talented young fellows and enjoying watching them develop as well. So they were great days.
Yeah, it's interesting because you, as great a batsman as you were, I mean, you're also the Australian wicketkeeper as well. So to balance that as well, I mean, that must have been tough. Do you think? Well, you've had to focus so much as a wicketkeeper. You don't get a chance to relax, and then you go and open.
But yes, exactly. That got really tough. That became quite a challenge, I think. And ideally, I would have loved to have, but I was getting a game for Australia. You're never ever going to whinge. You're never going to complain about that. And I don't. People say, "I bet you wish." No, I wished I was playing for Australia. And
That's it. Yeah. So
So,
as a coach, did you were you one that looked for a batsman / wicketkeeper as an opener, or not really? You knew how hard that role was.
yeah, we didn't need to be recreating that specimen. I mean, it became the all-rounder.
I know it
Yeah,
seemed to be.
inside,
Yeah.
Traditionally, the all-rounder's always been a batsman bowler, but
Did you ever feel like
Jeffrey Doosan was doing it for the West Indies.
Yeah.
So I think the Australians had the opportunity, and I did it for a little bit of time that way.
Did you ever feel like saying, "Oh, well, you know what? I spent a fair bit of time as a wicketkeeper. Look, can you just back me down to
Can I
third
have a
and
red?
fourth?"
And that's
something
how it
you're
happened.
about? Yeah.
We had a massive day or day and a half in the field against India, and they said, "Have a breather." And Booney opened with Jeff Marsh, and it created one of the great opening pairs of all time for Australia because they said, "No, you need a breather." So that's how it happened. Yeah.
Greatest player you've played with?
Do his hair every morning. Yeah.
Second greatest.
Oh, sorry.
And I love your hair, boss.
I know. Look, the greatest. I mean, what is the greatest player?
Yeah.
I think probably Greg Chappell.
Greg Chappell.
The way he fielded, the way he batted, that presence that he had. But then you play with Alan Border. What a record he had for the greatest scallywag, the greatest mate, Greg Ritchie.
Yeah.
All those sorts of things. Who's that greatest? But against
You're great.
for 5 days.
Yes.
That's the test.
Was that,
of cricket.
before we leave, was that a hard part of your life, having to leave Adelaide and you're overseas for quite a lengthy period of time away from your family, your friends. That would have been pretty difficult in itself.
I just, you couldn't believe it. I was just so, this is as good as it gets. It can't get any better. And I reckon I was right, and it was just as good as it gets.
Well, you know what, for SA Sports Show, I reckon you're as good as we're going to get. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, mate.
My very, very close friend, can I call you that?
Happy, more than happy.
Wayne Phillips, thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back after the break.